Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. I got a great video planned out for you guys. I think it's a great video, even though I stumbled across this idea. I was reading through comments in the last hour. Didn't really have a video idea. That's really why when I film these videos so late at night, it's because I don't have an idea on what to talk about. And one comment caught my eye about, hey, can we stick to gold and silver? Not really interested in Bitcoin. And whenever a member leaves me a comment, I really try to cater. I hate to say that, but I really try to cater to members and their wants and likes and what they want. And so I kind of was like, it's hard though. It's hard to not mention Bitcoin in YouTube videos. And I understand some people that follow this channel are hardcore gold and silver. They believe gold and silver is going to do awesome, and it's gonna. And as I was reading through the comments, somebody made a comment. Let's be honest, take a look at what the Trump family is going after. Bitcoin. And I said, whoa, 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 hold the phone. So I follow Trump quite a bit. I follow his wins. I follow his losses. I like some of the stuff he does. I don't like some of the stuff he does. I'm not hardcore one way, but I follow Trump hardcore because I like to know what he's doing. Just like when Biden was in office, I followed him hardcore. Essentially, the president of the United States directs the direction of the country and what they view. But when I read that comment, I said, you know what? That would make an awesome video. What does Trump and this administration back more? Bitcoin or gold and silver? We're going to look at what they've done and not what they've said. And I think this is going to be a great video. It's going to surprise some of you guys. Stuff like, who knew that Trump Jr. actually endorses a gold company? In fact, I think he owns or is co-owner of a gold company. Who knew that Donald Trump has taken gold bars as down payments multiple times? What is the government buying? They're not buying Bitcoin, they're buying gold. But on the flip side, they might mention Bitcoin, yes. Have they made money off? Yeah, they made Trump coin. Hey, it was a great gimmick. It got a little bit more endorsements out there, I guess you can say. Did Trump make some promises for Bitcoiners? There's a lot of people that are pro-Bitcoin out there. There's a lot of people that are pro-crypto. Has he made it a little easier to buy? Yes. But what's really happening behind the scenes? And this also stems around a comment that I had read earlier about, everybody's heard, Bitcoin was a CIA operation and the CIA set up Bitcoin to redirect money from gold and silver to Bitcoin and other cryptos. And maybe that's true, maybe that's not. We'll probably never know until stuff gets declassified down the road on what really happened. But I want to talk about some of this today. And this directly does impact gold and silver. When you understand what's going on, you're going to understand, I think, in today's video, why I am pro gold and silver and not so much Bitcoin. Although, I'm not pro gambling, but I still go and gamble money once in a while at the casino, and I hope I win. I'm not pro Bitcoin, but I do tend to buy some different cryptos now and then, and if I can make a few bucks off of a quick pop, then that's great. I'm happy with that. But so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I hope you enjoy the video. I think you're going to be surprised when you hear some of what is going on. I can't thank you enough for watching, commenting. A special thank you goes out to all of our members. If you'd like to become a member, it is only $1.99, and it really does help the channel out. For $1.99 plus, your comments go right to my phone. Plus, every month you have a shot at winning a really cool prize as we do a special event every month. So and it's always at least an ounce of silver. Last month it was 3. The month before it was 3 ounces. We've been up a little bit, but it's always minimum of 1 ounce. So with that being said, let's get started. Now, before we get started, let's take a quick look at a recap of what is going on in the prices of the major metals and Bitcoin. So right now, we've got silver trading at $33.22, and it is starting to climb a little bit more. I'm convinced that we're in a good position right now. Only $1.80 off of its essentially 11-year, 12-year high, which is a good place to be. I think $1.70, $1.80, that's not far off. It's not going to take much to climb that wall and be at new all-time, well, at new 11-year highs. I won't say all-time high because, yeah, we're not even at the all-time high, because the all-time high was like $50, and here we are $17 short of that. So taking a quick look at gold, we got gold trading at $32.72. Down a little bit, not a huge amount. What's interesting is we are at basically a 99 to 1 gold silver ratio. So, I mean, that's showing that maybe that ratio is starting coming down. When that ratio comes down quite a bit, you tend to usually see silver climbing higher in price faster than gold. Now, we got to look at the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin price as of right now trading at 107,731. DXY climbing a little bit back over 100, which is a good sign for the US dollar. However, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that is questionable on how it's going to play out, and we'll see that in the future. If I had to guess, I'll bet you this is going to say, yep, 909. So in the next couple hours, we're going to hit 910 billion on top of the 36 trillion. Like I said, I'm estimating by about the 20th of the new month, we're going to be hitting $37 trillion. A milestone. Not a good one, though. Okay, so let's jump in right off. And, the first thing I wanted to know, to prove to people. So Donald Trump Jr. did come out because someone specifically said, what is the Trump family doing? What is the administration doing? So right off the bat, the first thing that came to my mind was Donald Trump Jr. promoting a gold company not even 6 months ago. 11 months ago, something like that. As I read through different stuff, it would appear that he either endorses or he even is co-owner of a specific group. Just reading these headlines even, you can kind of get a good gist that Trump Jr. does promote gold. It would appear it's, I don't know how they pronounce that, Birch Gold Group. Is what I'm thinking how they pronounce it. And here's the thing. Trump has, so I wanted to find out stuff though about Donald Trump. Some people will say Donald Trump Jr. may not matter, but yes, it's true. Donald Trump has accepted gold bars. I remember this. This was because of the APMAX deal. Everybody knows APMAX, the bullion company that a lot of people do use to buy precious metals from. They rented a building from Trump, essentially. And in the transaction, the security deposit in 2011, a precious metals dealer named APMAX paid a security deposit for a commercial lease in one of Trump's buildings with gold bars instead of cash. So obviously he viewed the gold bars as good as cash. I mean, I don't think he would take gift cards. I don't think he would take, something that he doesn't find value in. So that's the first thing. Another example, a parking garage lease. A book that was published in 2022 revealed that Donald Trump once received dozens of gold bars as payment for a parking garage lease at the General Motors building. Unusual practice. Accepting gold as payment in real estate is not a common occurrence, and Trump's acceptance of these instances made the headlines. So here's the thing. He understands that this is value. He likes gold. He is actually practicing and proving. If he's doing something, my dad always used to have this saying, and it always drove me nuts. And I'm sure a lot of you maybe have said this to your kids or your grandkids. Do as I say and not as I do. And I used to hate that saying. It basically is saying I can do the wrong thing, but you're going to do the right thing. Well, here's the thing. In my life, I would rather see what other people are doing because that's usually a good tell of what's going to happen. And looking at what Trump is doing, Trump is taking gold. Trump is accumulating gold. Motivation, at least in the 2011 case, Trump press office stated he was bullish on gold. I like how they used was. Now, he's still bullish on gold, though, in my opinion, on gold due to his concerns about the U.S. dollar value. Well, I don't know. Since 2011, has the dollar got stronger or weaker? In my opinion, it's just getting weaker. It's getting weaker and weaker as they print. And now, if he had concerns in 2011, I bet you his concerns are even more now with everything going on. Handling of gold. According to the 2020 book, Trump reportedly wasn't sure what to do with the gold bars he received for the parking garage lease, and they were eventually taken to his apartment. I guess that's what he would say. Here's the thing. You don't want to upplay, I guess you can say, something that you want. Have you ever wanted something from someone? Maybe it's a new car. You know, I always get a kick out of this because I actually just went and negotiated a new car for somebody. They asked if I would go and negotiate their new vehicle with them. And so I said, yeah, I would. And I went. And one of the questions the guy asked me is, can you really live without this vehicle? And at this point, she told me, she goes, you handle everything. I don't even want to answer questions. And I was like, when he asked that question directly to her, I was like, oh, my word, please don't answer this the wrong way. And she's like, I can live without anything. I just need the right price. And that's it. She said there's more cars out there if this one doesn't pan out. And I said, that's exactly the right answer. You know, when you want something from someone, you certainly don't want to make it sound better than it is. You don't want to hype it up. So, you know, Trump making a statement like, I don't really know what to even do with gold. Come on, what do people do with gold? They put it in a safe place and they hold it. And they don't let it go because they understand it's going to go higher and higher in price. So clearly, the Trump family is pro-gold. And here's the thing. I can't remember what country his wife is from, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that even she's pro-gold. I actually went and I was talking to a bank lender the other day. She lends money for real estate. And I was explaining to her, I said, you can't borrow money against crypto or borrow money against, say, commodities or anything, can you? She said, no. But she said that she was from Greece. And she goes, so I am big on gold. We, people from Greece, strongly understand the value of gold. Here in the United States, a lot of people don't understand gold. And, you know, gold is the backbone of everything as of right now. Now, I got to get into Bitcoin because we are comparing the two. So let's jump over and let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin. And I want to be fair, you know, when I talk about this. Let's see what I pulled this one up for. We're going to get to that. The Bitcoin reserve that really we haven't done anything. Well, yeah, let's see here. Okay, we'll just start off. Does Trump go for Bitcoin? Does he back Bitcoin or does he back gold more? So let's talk about what this administration has done for cryptocurrency. While it's tricky to say definitely whether Donald Trump endorses gold or his administration does, it has shown a clear preference for Bitcoin and a broader crypto industry. So now we're going to talk about this. Now, some people are going to disagree with some of this, but I think as I say what's really happening, I think we're going to see that there's an unclear writing here on do they really prefer cryptocurrencies? The shift in tone. Initially, Trump was vocal, He was skeptic about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, outright calling them a scam. However, his stance has dramatically shifted. Or maybe it hasn't. Now, this I'm not reading. Or maybe it hasn't shifted. Maybe he's just not totally honest about it. Because what happens if all these crypto people decide that they don't believe in crypto or Bitcoin anymore? Where are they going to put their money then? The next place that they will go to will be gold and silver, in my personal opinion. Well, and I say gold and silver, but I really mean mostly gold. I hate to say that because I'm more pro silver than I am gold. But I put gold and silver in the same family, which might be a little unfair because there are some people that say don't waste your money on silver, but buy gold. The crypto president. Trump embraced the crypto industry during his campaign and has pledged to be the first crypto president, according to PBS NewsHour. Okay, so yeah, I mean, he needed votes. He showed up at different crypto conferences, talked about how we might do a strategic reserve. We're looking into it and this and that, and how, we believe in, Bitcoin. And I believe in Bitcoin in terms of I believe you have the right to do what you want to do with your money. If you want to buy Bitcoin and you think it's the future, then you have that right. And I don't believe that government should be able to say you can't buy it, you can't invest in it. And, some countries have tried this. And some people say, well, see, it didn't fare well because you can't stop it. You're right. I mean, let's be honest. You can't stop someone from doing something. You can confiscate their stuff if they're doing it, but that could apply to anything from prohibition back in the day to medical, I don't want to use the word, substances today, whether it's medical or personal or whatever, recreational, I don't know. I don't want to use that word because I did have one of my videos get in trouble. But granted, I did a little extreme on that one. We actually made a strand, the T-Square Talk strand, and the person went into great detail on how to break it down. Well, that video got shot down real quick here on YouTube, so it's kind of funny, though. And it was a good learning experience. However, the strategic Bitcoin reserve, let's talk a little bit about that. A major step in his administration and crypto's policy is the establishment of the strategic Bitcoin reserve. This reserve is intended to hold Bitcoin seized by the government, positions the U.S. as a leader in digital assets in the space. So let's talk about this. Did they spend any money on Bitcoin? No. They confiscated it. Just like they view it as, yeah, it has value. It does have value in terms of people. If someone's willing to pay for something, then obviously it has a certain amount of value. When people deem it unvaluable, then essentially what happens? So the U.S. has a bunch of Bitcoin that they confiscated from what they deem to be illicit trade practices or whatever, ill-gotten means, and they're holding it. Well, they were holding it before. So this strategic Bitcoin reserve absolutely was not nothing. They did nothing. They signed an executive order that said, we're going to start up a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Hey, move it from this desk to that desk. Move it over here. We're not going to sell it, but we're going to hold it. So they didn't do anything. They didn't invest any money in it. They didn't nothing. Let's see. Trump has signed an executive order aimed at supporting the crypto industry and has indicated a willingness to basically reverse the stricter practices of the Biden administration. So what does that exactly mean? Okay, so previously, the previous administration was really against cryptocurrencies. Okay, Trump's administration just made it easier. If you want to put your money into it, hey, put your money into it. You make a profit, pay your taxes, and that's it. They don't care. In fact, they probably hope it keeps going up so people will pay their taxes on it. Because ultimately, think about how much money has been made on Bitcoin recently. There's a lot of Bitcoin people out there that have just made a ton of money. Pay your taxes on it. That's it. The appointment of a crypto czar within the administration highlights his commitment to the industry. Okay, so they hired a guy that understands cryptos, Bitcoin. He understands what it is. He understands the practice of it. He probably understands different ways to make sure that people pay their taxes on it. And there again, we're not spending any money on it. Where is this administration spending their money? Where is the government spending their money? Where is the Trump family spending their money? They're spending it on gold and silver. So when someone says, look at what the Trump's administration is doing, is really wording these things in a unique way. Oh, he's created a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Okay, he didn't really do anything. That's it. Now, someone can hype that sentence. If someone wanted to, if you're a Bitcoin or a crypto channel, it's easy to sell this off as some major, we're going to start buying Bitcoin. Okay, maybe in the future. We haven't yet. But what are we buying now? We're buying gold because we understand gold. And we don't want people buying gold, everyday people like me and you, because then the price would go up faster. We don't want other countries buying it because then the price would go up faster. I want to acquire as much as I can before the price goes up, along with you guys, along with the governments. So the fact that they're making it easier for you to invest in Bitcoin, I mean, come on. Of course they would. So, I mean, this is not meant to beat on Bitcoin, but it is meant to point out the obvious. And I think it was a great statement. Look at what Trump's doing, even though I think it kind of backfired because the person that left it, I think, was more pro-crypto. And I think that they really need to consider what's being said and what's being done. Or I won't say two different things, but they're not advantages in my mind that points to essentially the use or the just changing the world to a Bitcoin standard. He's making it easier. They'd rather see you put your money in that as opposed to buy product off the shelves and raise prices. And they'd rather see you invest money in that than go out and buy gold and silver. It's in their best interest. Let's see. Scrolling down, because this was a separate article, because it's hard to find stuff, pros for how this administration is pro-Bitcoin. So this right here actually talks about the gold revolution. The Trump administration has explored. Now, this is where, in my opinion, it gets a little bit, I don't want to say glossy, I guess you can say. It's kind of fabricated, in my opinion, because they didn't say why they wanted to revalue exactly. So the Trump administration explored the possibility of revaluating gold certificates as a way to fund the acquisition of more Bitcoin. Now, they did say they wanted to revalue gold to fund essentially a sovereign wealth fund, but it doesn't mean it's going to be Bitcoin. It just means a sovereign wealth fund. I mean, and we don't even have wealth anymore. I mean, our wealth, what we have is debt. Is there such thing as a sovereign debt fund? That's what we need. That's pretty much what we have. This suggests gold may be viewed as a potential source of funds to support the crypto agenda. Okay, it may be viewed, I guess, by somebody. Someone might view it that way. I don't view it that way. I view it as, hey, we can get money. Here's what they should do. Let's just discuss this real quick. And this is going to be good for Bitcoiners. Why don't they take all the Bitcoin that they have and stake it out? Hey, there we go. We'll stake the U.S. government Bitcoin. We'll take cash. So basically we loaned it out at a higher interest rate. And we'll buy gold with it. That's what they should do. And there you go. Then you still have the Bitcoin. Now you've added to your gold. And essentially, you just pay it back in cash that you're going to water down and print anyway. Woohoo! I should have started the video with that, actually, because a lot of people probably tuned out if I'm talking about something they don't like. So, while it's not explicitly endorsing gold, the administration's willingness to consider revaluing it for Bitcoin purchases. Okay, they're considering it. They're not, I don't even think they're considering. I think they're just saying it to get people to invest their money in it. And hey, there you go. We just got rid of a bunch of money out of the scene. The more money goes into hiding, the less inflation you have. Take a look at Weimar Germany after the war. People were frantically saving their money. Everybody was scared of hyperinflation. And all of a sudden, all this money is getting put away under mattresses and stuff. And the money's not, they're printing money like crazy to pay off the war reparations. And they're not seeing the inflation yet. Why? People are scared, but they're holding their money. They're holding their money. The inflation doesn't start really until the money is being spent and the goods are being bought up. And that's exactly what happened when people calmed down and they said, hey, this ain't as bad as they made it sound out to be. So what do? They all start spending their money and buying stuff. And all of a sudden, the hyperinflation all at once slam the system. And you've heard this in books. You've seen it. You've heard the saying before. Slow at first and then all at once. You know, when people realize that cryptocurrencies ain't exactly what they're making it out to be, that money is going to flow into gold. That money is going to flow into other stuff. And then we're going to see the all at once. Let's see. No strong statement. Unlike his clear shift towards embracing crypto, Trump hasn't made any recent or definitive, I don't even know how you pronounce that word, I'm sorry, pronouncements regarding gold as an investment or a store of value. I think he's made statements in what he's done and what's been happening. And then in the bottom, in summary, the Trump administration has taken concrete steps to support integrating gold and cryptocurrencies into the U.S. financial landscape. While gold hasn't received the same level of endorsement, the potential revaluation plan suggests potential link between the two assets within the administration's broader financial. Okay, there again, suggestions that stray people to buy something. If I owned, hypothetically, I don't know, we'll say an IBM place. I don't know. I'm just picking something. Of course, I'm going to suggest that you should buy IBM. If I owned an Apple store, I'm going to suggest that you buy Apple phones. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that he is, and that's probably a bad example, actually. I think he's suggesting these things to convince people to buy it so he can buy the opposite, which is gold. And so with that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I'm going to leave it up to you what you guys think. It's super late now. How long have I been talking? Oh, my word, 28 minutes. People don't like long videos. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave it up to you. Think what you think. I gave you guys some key things to think about. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think Trump really supports? Do you think he supports gold or do you think he supports Bitcoin? He supports one over the other. In the back of his mind, he has a preference. If you want to take the chance and put what you think he supports, go ahead and put it in the comments. Be brave. If you think he supports crypto, leave a little statement why. If you think he supports gold, just say, hey, I agree with what you said. It makes sense. I like to hear your arguments and read them. It does lead to good videos. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye.